Sam here. Welcome to another Sam here. Welcome to another episode of Walks of World. I'm in the town of Hope, British Columbia, where one of my favorite films was shot. That would be First Blood, the first Rambo film. This year is the 40th anniversary of that film. It came out in October of 1982. It's now November 2022. 40 years later, the popularity of the film has not waned. And boy, was it a slog driving. So I drove back from Alaska and through the Yukon, down through British Columbia, through a lot of really snowy, icy, slippery weather. But I'm here in Hope, and I just went to the wonderful visitor center where they have a lot of information about the town and nearby parks, and of course lots of information on First Blood if you're a diehard fan of the film like I am. And one humorous thing they said was the filming conditions of the movie back then, they were filming in very similarly rainy, cold weather around this time of year, so feel right at home in the atmosphere of First Blood. So I'm walking up this way. We're gonna check out some locations. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm walking backwards at the moment, but right here, apparently, according to this booklet, this is where Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, was riding his motorcycle very fast down the sidewalk, saying, look out, and as people get out of the way as he's escaping the police station. So right here, looking ahead, going back that way, I'm moving in the going back as he comes toward us. I think the story goes that when a producer was looking at potential locations to shoot the picture, reason they chose Hope is because they loved how the mountains loom on the town of Hope, just rise straight up right next to it, so it's on the edge of the wilderness, which worked well with the screenplay. And as you can see behind me, the mountains, my lens will flatten it a little bit, but the mountains are pretty steep, and they're right there. It's like the town is right on the edge of these mountains that just rise right up, so I can see why they chose it. Andrew Laszlo, the cinematographer on First Blood, apparently used a lot of natural light, just kind of using the environment as it was in the camera, and I can understand that. I mean, it's beautiful around here. It's November right now, but there's fog and rain, and then this town is incredibly atmospheric. So right here is the train tracks, and an iconic moment where Rambo, being pursued by the police, jumps his motorcycle over the tracks, goes flying, lands on the other side, and a cop car also flies over the tracks too and landed in the road. The stuntman, whose name I can't remember at the moment, but you'll see it right here on the screen, actually broke his back in that stunt when the car jumped, the jump, and then lands, and it hit really hard. You can kind of tell in the movie that it's a pretty intense stunt. But here at the location, right here is where that happened. Alrighty, so right in front of me here is a gas station that Rambo rode his bike through. I'm just gonna read directly from the magazine. While evading the sheriff, Rambo navigates the motorbike through the Chevron gas station. The distinctive red roof line of what is now Hope Pizza Place can be seen in the background of the scene. Very cool. So this roof used to be red, obviously, and it's red in the movie. You can see it in the background of the shot, but now it's like the paint has gone different color, or not red. Okay, so you see this rock wall face here. Okay, so I'm walking back into Hope right now. Right here, literally right around here, the stone was more barren in the movie, but this is the scene right after the beginning of the film when Sylvester Stallone unfortunately learns that his Vietnam buddy has died of cancer. And so he leaves that location. I'm not sure where that was shot, but then after that he proceeds to walk into the town of Hope. We have a reverse angle on him like this, coming forward, right around this corner. It's all, grown with trees now, but this is the area where it said in the magazine, and I can tell it's the place because the rock wall is there. was a lot more barren in the film, but you got to keep in mind it's 40 years ago, so a lot can change. There's an intersection, and the booklet mentions this is where the shot of Stallone walking into the town with a holiday sign, welcome to Holiday Land, above his head. That sign is actually now in another part of town, right near where a bridge used to be, where they filmed a scene. The bridge was taken down in 2011. But here, this shot where Stallone is coming into a town, right ahead of me there's an intersection. There's two ways into town. One road banks left, the other banks right. I initially thought it was the road going left, which was where they got the reverse angle holiday sign shot, but I quickly realized it's the other road going right. Because as you look up here, you can see on this road, the mountains are taller in the background, and the mountains in the background, the shape matches exactly what's in the shot. So that's the road they chose. And as I walk around here, I'm realizing how clever the filmmakers were, specifically the director and cinematographer, because the angles that they chose, they do everything they can to make the mountains appear looming, which they are, but they choose the most dramatic shots and structure in that way. So this is where Rambo enters town. Welcome to Holiday Land, and disaster ensues. By the way, when Rambo goes on a rampage towards the end of the film and he blows up the gas station and he like shoots out a gun shop, a lot of those places were buildings that were sets that were built to be destroyed, you know, by the crew. So they're not actual landmarks. I think the gas station was like right over there, or like right down there. There's nothing there now, but that's where it was. So some of those locations, they don't exist now, but they were spectacularly destroyed in the movie. And God, I must say, there is something special about real pyrotechnics versus CGI explosions. I love seeing real things blow up, and I think it can be still done safely and effectively with experts to make for spectacular film making. Well, that concludes my first visit to Hope, British Columbia. I will definitely be returning here in the future for a very specific reason. Coquihalla Canyon, where the Othello tunnels are, is another prime location where great scenes of First Blood were shot, where Stallone was hanging off a cliff. That park is temporarily closed for safety reasons and has been for some while, but when it's fixed and restored, I'll be back here to check that area out. This has been a great adventure.